It's time for the Sports Report with your host, Mike Prince. For scores, updates, and highlights, Waller County area, the Sports Report is your one-stop spot. And now let us join in today's program. All right, happy Thursday to you, sports fans. This is Mike Prince with the Open Mic Broadcast Network and the Sports Report. It is Thursday, February the 6th, 2014. Yesterday was National Signing Day throughout the country, and man, do we have a lot in store for you today. So sit back, relax. We're going to pause for the calls. We're going to hear from Chris Wilkerson, a Waller senior who signed with Stephen F. Austin. We had a press release last night from Prairie View A&M University Panthers, where you have Coach Heish Northern. He addressed the media. He also had some one-on-one interviews with us here at the Sports Report, which will be airing later on, the weekend edition. But we got a whole lot in store for you on today. Keep it locked where you got it, and we'll be right back with the Sports Report. This broadcast has been made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. For more information on becoming a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. All righty then, let us jump right into today's programming. Yesterday was a big day all across the country for a lot of young men stepping into the college ranks. It was National Signing Day throughout the country, and young men were signing their names on a dotted line throughout the country, making their commitments to where they're going to be playing their collegiate football. Here locally, the Waller Bulldogs were able to have Mr. Chris Wilkerson. He'll be representing the Bulldogs up in Nacogdoches, as he will be going off to be a Stephen F. Austin lumberjack. A very excited young man. Wilkerson, one of the fine young men representing Waller High School and the Waller County area. He was gracious enough to sit down with us and express what he had gained through his experience at Waller High School. Congratulations, young man.
Thank you.
On the verge of becoming a lumberjack.
Yes,
Stephen
sir.
F. Austin got the lumberjack gear on and everything. Tell us what's going on through your head right now.
Beyond excited. It's always been a dream to play college football, and now it's going to come true.
You got an opportunity. You stay close to home, so I know your parents are excited about that. How did you come about getting this opportunity to go to Stephen F. Austin?
It's actually just a crazy thing of how it happened. It's there was one night on Twitter, one of the Stephen F. Austin coaches tweeted out they're looking for a long snapper, and oddly enough, the Magnolia West coach, Coach Bell, tweeted my name to him, and all of a sudden I had a call, and now I'm here.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
The power of social media.
It's crazy.
Oh, man. So you didn't even know the tweet had gone out.
I had no idea until after the phone call with Stephen F. Austin. I talked to Coach Kubik on the phone, and then all of a sudden I put my phone down and I looked back at Twitter. I said, I have a notification. I was like, oh, let me go look at that. And I looked at it, and sure enough, he had tweeted my name to Coach.
Wow.
That's how I ended up.
Well, what do you say? The power and the wonders of the 21st century,
it's
right?
Insane, yeah.
Okay, now you get an opportunity. You get to go to play with the Lumberjacks up in Nacogdoches. That's nice, comfortable ride away. I'm sure you went and visited the campus. What was it like when you got there for you?
The biggest thing was when I went there, people told me it was small. It was not small. I mean, I come from small here in Waller, but when I got there, I was happy. It was right when I got there.
It was just the perfect fit for you.
It was good.
Now, here's something I want. Isn't it amazing how other people can tell you what's not good enough for you until you experience it for yourself?
Until you go there and say, hey, this is pretty awesome.
Well, that was my same sentiment. I came to Prairie View back in 1988. I know you wasn't born then, so don't even say anything. But they're saying, how are you going to go way down there to go to this little video school? Well, it was a perfect fit for me. and you'll be amazed at the opportunities that you'll be able to encounter when you're in an environment where you don't feel like you're lost in the numbers. So I bid you much success in your future with being the Lumberjacks. Now, what is your intent of study when you go to?
I'm going to major in education for sure. I want to be a coach. I'm probably going to go down the mathematics route.
Okay.
So that, if I decide, I really don't want to teach or coach anymore, I can take my mathematics degree and do so many things with that.
Very good, very good. Well, it sounds like you got it all planned out, man. Now, I want to ask you, how did you get into becoming a long snapper? Who taught you into becoming that?
Back in 7th, 8th grade in junior high, my hands were the only one that could grip the ball. I had the biggest hands on the team. So Coach Barron, who was there, he asked me to try it. He said, who can throw a football? We just started throwing footballs around. He was trying to look for somebody that could grip the ball. So I was just doing it with one hand, until I got up to my freshman year, and Coach Copeland was here. And he had gone to college as a long snapper, and he did it in college. So he started teaching me, and all of a sudden I just took to it. It was just kind of
just
a natural.
Just like a duck in water.
It was kind of like a natural ability, they said, that I just had, that for some reason I had it.
Well, I tell you what, son, if you ever check the history out of long snappers, they play a long time. Especially now in the 21st century playing football, because the rules have changed where it protects them because they're in a vulnerable position. And there have been guys who've been long snapper in the NFL for almost 20 years. Right. I'm not trying to get you ahead of the game. Let's get the educational part down and wish you much success. It's been a pleasure keeping up with you guys as you go through the ranks, through our broadcast coverage and everything. And all I say is when you go there, understand that not only are you representing your family, you're representing the community, and you're representing everything that we try to put in you guys. And we wish you best of luck.
Thank you.
And I do want to put this special note. I don't know if they told you about this up there at Lumberjack Company. You all lost to my Prairie Panthers pretty bad. Did they tell you about that, boy?
Well, I'm aware.
Oh, you're aware. You're aware. You're aware of that. Okay.
Yep.
Up in Stephen F. Foster,
At home.
Came
in and took care of it.
It took care of it. As a matter of fact, I think it might have been some changing of the guards and upper management up there.
Yeah, up in Stephen F. Foster, we got the new head coaches now.
Yeah. So it says
it's a whole new thing now. It reminds me a lot of when Coach Wright got here.
Right. Well, talk about your experience with Coach Wright when you were under Coach Morley. That was your coach since you were a little kid.
Yep.
And then you get this guy, Coach Wright, a little short, fiery guy coming in here.
That's right.
And we can tell when we say it that it doesn't matter, right? But this guy comes in here. What goes through your mind when you're going through the midst of this transition?
The first thing you think of is who's going to be playing. Because you knew that there's a certain coach you had. Everybody pretty much knew their spots. So when he came in, everybody was like, okay, now we got to fight for our own spots. And we got to we got to work harder. Made everybody work harder. Made me work harder. And luckily enough, I impressed him enough to where I could play.
Exactly.
Came out on top.
Well, when you look at what have you learned from Coach Wright that has made you a better ball player?
100%. Work 100%. I was never the best athlete. But I was always the smartest. He always said, watch the film. Watch what they're doing. Know what they're doing. I was the guy that always knew what was going on. I could tell everybody else, it's like, hey, they're about to run the ball here. They're about to throw. I could tell somebody and listen to him on that one and never give up. That was huge. He said, you keep fighting. It's like when we were down at Brenham, we lost 27-0. It was a one-quarter game. They beat us 27-0 in one quarter. And after halftime, we shut them out. They shut us out as well, but we played our butts off, and that was what he stressed to us.
Well, that was a crazy game. You
Yeah.
know, the game was supposed to have been played Friday. It was storming, something furious. They canceled the game, came back Saturday. So, you know, I'm not making no excuses because I don't believe in it. But that was just a weird weekend. And we'll move on from there. We got this realignment stuff coming in. And I know you're leaving out,
right.
but what do you think about the realignment and how it's looking?
Realignment looks good in our favor, I think. We're a good team next year. A lot of seniors.
A lot of seniors.
next year.
The growing pains have.
They're going to have experience for sure.
So you'll go back and make sure you show some love back to them.
I'm going to make sure I show love to them.
If you don't do anything, if it doesn't mess up with your season, come back homecoming or something like that.
Always.
Let the guys get to see you in your college gear to motivate them. And one thing I've always been taught, always come back and give back from where you started.
It's always been one of the big things in my head. I said if I ever did something big, it's going to be coming back here.
Well, son, graduating from college is big. You might not ever make pro, you might not ever get another award, but when you can buckle down and show that you have what it takes to graduate college, that's big. Because let me tell you something, what college proves to the rest of the world. It doesn't prove how smart you are. It doesn't even prove how much intellect you have or don't have. What it proves to people is that you have the ability to finish something that you start.
That's right.
All right, Chris Wilkerson, the soon-to-be former Bulldog. He still hadn't graduated yet.
Not yet.
But he's going to be a Stephen F. Austin lumberjack, who I did mention you did lose to Prairie, right?
Yes, sir, that's right.
Thanks a lot, Mike. This is Mike Prince with the Open Mic Broadcast Network and the Sports Report, and we'll see you on the other side. And that was Chris Wilkerson, a long snapper for the Waller Bulldogs. We do wish him well. He was a good sport about it. Me giving him a hard time about Prairie View beating up on Stephen F. Austin. We're going to take us a break, and we'll be back, and we'll hear from the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. They had a huge Sunday. Signed 18 players on last night, 11 of them from the defensive side. You're listening to the Open Mic Broadcast Network and the Sports Report. It is Thursday, February the 6th. Keep it locked where you got it, and we'll be right back.
Welcome. For English, press 1. To learn more about your phone services, press 1. With its current features, your phone can silence verbal abuse, prevent scarring, end humiliation.
A phone can stop abuse. Kids Help Phone. Please give. For more information, visit kidshelpphone.ca.
Provide hope, build confidence, promote emotional healing.
All right, welcome back here to the Sports Report, the Thursday edition. Mike Prince here with you. Yesterday was a huge day for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, having 17 signed commitments, with 11 of those guys being focused on the defensive side. One of the big signees, Mr. Jonathan Taylor, 6'4", 220-pound defensive end out of San Antonio Roosevelt, had a total of 73 tackles. 48 of those were solo, had 7 sacks and 5 pass deflections. So it'll be nice to see Mr. Jonathan Taylor come on in and see how he fits in the scheme of things here on the Hill. We were able to catch Coach Northern and his address on the media last night, and how he had to go and address some areas of concern. We're going to switch on over and hear from Coach Heish Northern.
We met our needs, especially on the defensive side of the ball. If you look at it, you'll see quite a few defensive linemen, whether it's ends or tackles, a couple of linebackers, and a whole lot of guys in the secondary. So we did that. We accomplished that goal. We hit Texas hard. Normally we may end up with only 4 or 5 guys from the state of Texas. We doubled that amount this year, much to the liking of my offensive tackle, Trey Glover. So, we go back and forth as coaches, just talking about, where some of these guys from, who has the most players and all that. But at the end of the day, we want to get, more guys from the state of Texas, make no doubt about it. And we want to make sure that those guys fit into what we're doing. But now the hard work begins. Making sure we get these guys admitted to school, making sure they get their financial aid forms done, housing, summer school. I'm going to say that again while my athletic director is sitting on the front row. Summer school. I wish Dr. Bradford and some of those other people were here, but it's very important that we get those young men in and get them started off the right way. One thing that we have to think about, too, we still deal with a lot of first-generation college students. So their parents are not quite as well versed as what goes on the college campus, what all needs to be done. When we looked at our graduating class from last year, we had 5 young men that were the first person in their whole family to graduate from college. So that's very big from that standpoint. But like I say, we want to recruit local talent and try to make everything better for this university. A couple things that we have to clean up a little bit, and this may not be the venue for it, but I'm going to tell it like it is. Like I say, we want to recruit local talent, but a lot of times when you're recruiting local talent, we as a university and we as a coaching staff have to break down a lot of bridges. And I'll tell you a couple things real quick. When we are recruiting from certain areas, and you hear recruits when they leave out of our weight room say, well, my high school weight room is 2 or 3 times that size, or my high school weight room has 2 or 3 times the amount of equipment. It's an uphill recruiting battle from day one. Or when you have coaches, high school coaches, that may tell a young man when he's committed to Prairie View to keep his options open. And when he commits to somewhere else, be a man of your word. So we're still fighting those battles. Just the other day, I had to explain to a non-black person that HBCUs do let other races into their university. So it's 2014, and that's what I have to do as a head football coach. So just understand, what are we trying to do? As Prairie View alums, and I always joke, I appreciate what they try to do a lot of times, but a lot of them, I'm going to have to give them a measuring tape and teach them how to measure and weigh people by sight. I had a call from a young man that wanted me to look at someone. He told me the kid was 6'3", 240. And I've been looking at film a long time. And when I looked at the film, I told the guy, I said, the guy looks like he's maybe 5'11", about 220. And then he said, Coach, you about right. He said, my son is 6'4". He's about 4 inches shorter than my son. So that makes him right at 6 feet tall. So, you know, we're still dealing with that a little bit. But we have to make sure as coaches we're doing our due diligence. We took some 22 shots to the back of the head where we were on some excellent kids, and we lost them at the end. And we got to find a way to finish that. And sometimes I look at it, we lost 2 young men to the Naval Academy. Now, as a head football coach at Prairie View, I'm sort of upset about that. I am upset about that. But when I look back at it, I say, man, that's a great opportunity for those young men. To the fact that we had some young men that had 23s, 27s, 26s on their ACT scores and considering Prairie View. And to lose them to Navy is not bad for Prairie View. So I'll take my hat off to the coaches that did an outstanding job. And we still have to change the perception of HBCUs, not only amongst our prospects, but amongst us as well. We have to think that, hey, that's a good option for my son or my daughter down the line when they come to choosing a college. So I want to thank everyone once again. I'll touch a little bit on the schedule before I sit down. Yes, this is my 4th year, or going into my 4th year being a head coach. And yes, I know it is pretty much a make or break year for Heish Northern as a head football coach at Prairie View. That's nothing I shy away from, and I look forward to the challenge. My goal, and I tell my coaches, I tell my family, and I tell these players, my goal is to be the head coach when that new stadium built, now, or when it's completed. Now, whether it's 2 years from now or when Adam comes to school at Prairie View, I want to be the head coach here. It's a great place for me. It's a great place for my family. Looking at the schedule, you know, we have our normal SWAC slate. Out of conference, we'll play against McNeese, who, when I took the head coaching job, I said I want to play Southern Conference schools. I want to play local schools. Now that gives us a chance to go up and test our mettle once again. You know, we'll back down from no one. But I do like playing FCS schools that are within a short distance drive and go and step up to the plate. I know the $1 million question, I hope I don't step on Mr. Robinson's toes, is, you know, where are we playing Southern University, the school that I went to. And from my understanding, we playing at Blackshear, or as some of the Southern fans call it, Black Sheep. But I tell you what, when they come, they better be ready to play. And whoever comes to Blackshear Stadium, the way it is now and the way it's going to be, they better be ready to play. So, I think we did an outstanding job with the young men you see on the film behind me. And I think we have an outstanding group of young men that's going to bring them in and show them the right way to do things. And hopefully we'll start our season in Reliance Stadium and finish our season in Reliance Stadium. So I want to thank you all once again, and let's get ready. And also I want to make an announcement. I wrote this down. We got our first commitment from the class of 2025. His name is Adam Northern. He said he's going to play safety or maybe cornerback, but he'd rather play safety because they don't run as much. Or he'd rather play wide receiver because they make a lot of touchdowns. But I want to thank you all, and I look forward to being the head coach, and I look forward to coaching these young men and getting us to the championship game. Thank you.
All right, that was Coach Heish Northern speaking on his recruiting for the 2014 campaign. Now, the schedule for the Panthers will only be a 10-game schedule this year, but they're going to make the most of it. Of course, they will open up on August 31st with the Texas Southern Tigers in the 30th annual Labor Day Classic. That game will be scheduled for Reliance Stadium. Right now, the kickoff time is scheduled for 4 p.m. And then they will travel to Lake Charles, Louisiana to take on the McNeese Cowboys for September the 13th. And then they will come back and play the Southern Jaguars at Blackshear Stadium. That's a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. These teams have not played on the campus of Prairie View in over 20 years. So Southern will come in on September the 20th to take on the Panthers. Then the annual Cotton Bowl moved up a little bit earlier this year. They normally played it on the first Saturday in October, but this one will be on September the 27th versus the Grambling State Tigers at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. October the 4th, we'll have the Panthers at Jackson State in Jackson, Mississippi. October 11th, we'll have the Panthers back home for homecoming against the Alabama State Hornets. That will be, of course, at Blackshear Stadium. October 18th, we'll have the Panthers going down to the Delta, the Mississippi Valley Delta Devils in Enabena, Mississippi, and that one will be scheduled for October 18th. October 25th, we'll have the Alcorn State Braves here at Blackshear Stadium, and Prairie View will be, of course, the host of that event. November 8th, we'll have the Panthers in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, taking on the Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions, and they will close out the season November 15th at Alabama A&M in Huntsville, Alabama, to take on the Bulldogs. Be sure to keep it right here at the Sports Report and the Open Mic Broadcast Network for all the latest and going on for the Panthers in the year 2014-15 campaign. It's amazing how time is already flying and getting around. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to the Thursday edition, February the 6th, 2014 of the Sports Report. I'm your host, Mike Prince, and we'll be right back.
Good night.
Hey, have you heard the news? You can now listen to the Open Mic Broadcast Network on iHeartRadio.
Really? That's tight. How do I do that?
All you have to do is go to the iHeartRadio and download the app and search OBN-Radio.
Is that it? Wow, even I can do that.
It's really that simple. iHeartRadio and the Open Mic Broadcast Network, a winning combination.
And welcome back to the Sports Report. That's right, you can listen to us through iHeartRadio. Go to iHeartRadio.com. Go to the talk section. From there, go to sports and look up OBN Sports. That's OBN Sports. You can also follow us on Twitter. Go to OMBN_radio. OMBN_radio. And don't forget, you can follow us through our website at KTORradio.com. We were also able to hear from the athletic director, Mr. Ashley Robertson, and his involvement and excitement about Prairie View Panthers sports. And he was able to reflect on the process and the direction in which the university is headed. We'll now hear from athletic director Ashley Robertson.
Yeah, it's a great day today. It's National Signing Day today, and we was able to put a reception together for our coaches and our football program. I think it's a great day. We signed 17 student athletes today and hope to sign a couple more, next week or so. I think the day definitely was a great day on the Hill.
Now, with that being done, 17, that's a good, strong number of recruiting. Most teams are happy to get 10, but you got 17, so that's got to say a lot about the direction that the athletic department is headed in.
Right, 17, student athletes, and we got 8 student athletes from the state of Texas. And I always, talk to my coaches about recruiting inside the state of Texas and try to get as many student athletes as we can to come from the state of Texas. And we got student athletes from all over. We got Louisiana, Florida, California, and the most important part, we got the student athletes that we needed to fill, what we needed on the defensive side of the ball. I think that was very big for us. As you know, we were very strong on the offensive side of the ball last year, so we was able to go out and get some of those DBs and safeties and linebackers and defensive tackles that we needed.
Now, Coach Northern had made a comment on some of the hidden difficulties that it takes to recruit. A lot of people think that we don't try. When I say we, HBCUs or whatever, are you at liberty to discuss not in full detail, but what some of the challenges that people might take for granted that it takes when you're competing with this?
Well, in recruiting, especially in the state of Texas in football, you're gonna have challenges. You got Texas A&M right down the road, you got UFH on this side, and then you got University of Texas. We right in the middle, so you're competing with those type of schools. We actually signed a kid that went on the visit to Vanderbilt, and the kid signed with PV, and I think that's good. And the positive side about PV, as an athletic director, I look at it, we have some strong academic programs, and when you can sell strong academic programs to parents and student athletes now, I think that's very big. If you look on as HBCU with graduating student athletes and graduating students, PV is with the top salary for students that graduate in all HBCUs.
Yes, sir.
So that is a good selling tool. The second largest graduation class in athletes, right behind Rice in the state of Texas. So, we have some things that we actually can sell here. I always say it's a very unique place, and we got a lot going on. And a lot of people say the best kept secret. The secret is out the bag.
Well, speaking of that, the average salary is $49,635 a year, and they can gig that all they want, but that's the fact from Prairie View, the HBCU right in the heart of Texas. This is Mike Prince with Athletic Director Ashley Robertson. Thank you so much for the time. It's a big, exciting time coming up. You got the stadium coming up. We'll talk about that down the road. But thank you so much for your time, sir. This is Mike Prince with the Open Mic Broadcast Network saying God bless, and we'll see you on the other side. And that was Mr. Ashley Robertson, Athletic Director for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, and his reflections on the direction in which the university is headed. We're going to take us another quick break, and we'll be right back with our final closing segments here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network and the Sports Report. This broadcast has been made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. For more information on becoming a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the part where we must say goodbye for today, but please be sure to join us on tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we'll feature Coach Brad Wright, head football coach and athletic director for the Waller Bulldogs. We want to take the time to say thank you to Coach Heish Northern, to Mr. Ashley Robertson, and, of course, to Mr. Chris Wilkerson. My name is Mike Prince. You've been listening to the Open Mic Broadcast Network and the Sports Report, reminding you that we could use your support by you becoming a listening partner today. Visit our website at ktorradio.com. Make your $36 donation today and help us carry on the vision. God bless, and we'll see you on the other side. The Sports Report is a production of the Open Mic Broadcast Network located in Prairie View, Texas. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network is the official voice of Waller County athletics.